Right now, Pittsburgh's best sports show is about to begin. Call us or tweet us. We got things to talk about on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call.
All right, thanks a lot, Ken, and thank you for tuning into the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. I'm Rich Walsh. You can get a hold of me tonight, 412-575-2600. Alongside Gene Collier, my co-host tonight, we're going to be talking about the Steelers. The Penguins are without Marc-Andre, the Penguins are definitely without Marc-Andre Fleury, but so are the Vegas Knights. And Matt Murray's not playing tomorrow, so it's a battle of two backup goaltenders tomorrow at PPG. Oli Mata is not playing. Ricola is filling in for him. Juuso Ricola is his name, a defenseman that made the team this year. So big changes for the Penguins tomorrow, trying to get back to winning. But for the Steelers, they have some problems heading into this game. But they fixed a lot of them, Gene, it seems like. The offense seems to be fixed. The run game, somewhat fixed. Maybe the problem could potentially be, and Ben was asked this today about now when Le'Veon Bell shows up, what happens? Are they going to split carries? And he kind of said that James Conner deserves carries. But he kind of shrugged off, though, James Conner, when someone asked him that, he had an up and down. I think it was Will Graves asked him, he's had an up and down first 5 games. And he was like, no, we asked him he's done whatever we asked him to do right now. So what do you think? I go by stats.
Well, yeah, Mike Tomlin defended James Conner between the Cleveland and the Atlanta games where, he wasn't terribly productive in the run game, but in all of those games that were, except in Tampa, they were behind, and so the run game wasn't really the option that it usually is. The criticism of the Steelers is that, it wasn't enough. They didn't stay with it enough when they had a chance to, either. But I agree that James Conner's done, everything they've asked him to do. When Lev Bell gets here, he's certainly not going to go straight into the lineup. I don't think you'll see that happen.
If he gets here, I'm still not sold that he's going to even show up.
No, I have no reason to believe that. He told that to Jeremy Fowler.
Yeah.
He tells a lot of people a lot of things.
And it seems like a lot of his players and a lot of his teammates haven't even heard from him yet. So
no, I don't know that anybody else has heard from him.
With the
club, anyway.
Yeah. Heading into this week, this is a huge game. They have 3 straight games against division opponents. They could really turn the table here and get back into control of the division again. And this is a game they have. This is a place they've had a lot of success. But last year you were there, we were there. It was an emotional game. Yeah. I mean, we could kind of feel it up in the press box, right?
Absolutely. I was never at a football game like that where I cared so little about the result of the game. The Ryan Shazier injury happened early in the game, and that was really all anybody thought about from that point forward, was what was going to happen to him. It was a testament to the Steelers that they were able to concentrate long enough to, pull that game out. But yeah, that was unlike any atmosphere I'd been in at an NFL game. Yeah,
and especially up at the press box, it was just a different. It was just a weird feeling, and it was hard to really concentrate on the game. And but if you take away the Shazier hit, it was a brutal game.
It was another really, really violent Bengals-Steeler game, as many of them have been, and many of the Ravens games have been too over the years. But that was really just a crazy night and a crazy atmosphere. Yeah.
So Mike Tomlin gets fined $20 because of what he said after the Falcons game. Can you imagine what he's going to say after this game if things start to unfold with Burfict and who knows who else out there?
Yeah, I mean, that was, you're not allowed to criticize the officials, and that certainly was a criticism what Mike Tomlin said. So he didn't think he'd be fine, but he was, and, that's the way it is. And
the Steelers get some accolades today. Was named Defensive Player of the Week for the second week. So he leads the NFL, tied with his brother and Geno Atkins with 6 sacks. And, they need more production from him, Gene, and more production from this defense, from their outside linebacker spots. And he's given them splash plays or 2 games, really.
Right.
And now they need that from Bud Dupree, too. I think we haven't really – I don't think we've seen anything from him yet.
Well,
hardly.
Well, he did have a pick 6, but other than that, I think you're right. Mike Tomlin mentioned last week that he thought before the Atlanta game that he thought the defense was starting to get its rhythm, and I think that's sort of what you saw there Sunday. I mean, they played much better, and I expect them to play really well at Cincinnati too.
Yeah, I do too. They always play well there in Cincinnati. They're getting Vince Williams back, it looks like it, but you know, a couple other guys are dinged up again. So maybe Morgan Burnett will play. He didn't practice today. A couple guys didn't practice. Some are coaches' decisions, others were still injuries. So we're going to talk about the Steelers, and the Pitt defense loses their best player to a knee injury. We'll talk a little bit about that coming up next. 412-575-2600 is the number. You can tweet me at Richie Walsh or at Gene Collier. Back in a couple minutes.